Previously on Sean Ross Reacts to MHA.
Horikoshi, you gotta stop doing this. You gotta stop teasing us with more Toya information, and then as soon as we're about to get some, you just rip it away from us. At this rate, we're not gonna get the full backstory of Toya until like chapter 300. Chapter 300.
Chapter 300. Chapter 300.
Called it. I can see the future!
How is it going, my heroes, my villains, and everybody in between? Sean Ross here, and welcome back, guys, to another live reaction to My Hero Academia. We are on manga chapter number 302, entitled The Wrong Way to Put Out a Fire, Part 2.
You lit a fire under this child and pushed him too hard. Look at what he's done to make you proud. I don't like it one bit.
Just try to put me out. Endeavor.
This Toya backstory is not over yet, and I am very curious to see what part 2 has in store for us, because coming off of the end of last chapter, we saw Toya snap. He lunged forward and tried to attack baby Shoto, who was being held within Rei's arms because Toya realized that Endeavor had replaced him. And no matter what Endeavor said or did to try to extinguish that fire within Toya, nothing worked because Endeavor went about it the completely wrong way. It was like putting fuel onto a fire. So going into this chapter, we should be continuing from that moment and probably lead into Toya burning himself alive on top of Sikoto Peak, and I am very curious to see what happens in between to lead us up into that fiery moment. So, mount ladies and gentle criminals, without further ado, let's dive right back into more Toya backstory with chapter 302.
Let's get ready to rumble! Gotcha, bitch!
Soon after.
Wait a minute. Are we completely skipping over Toya's attack?
Yep.
I think we are. So this first page must be a few moments removed from Endeavor stopping Toya. You can even see in this panel, Endeavor's sleeve is completely burned away. So how long did it actually take Endeavor to stop Toya and calm him down? That's what I want to know. From now on, we're keeping Shoto away from the other kids. I'm too busy with work to look after him 24/7, which is why I've hired help. But you, don't take your eyes off of Toya. And then we just have this panel shot of baby Shoto just fast asleep as if nothing even happened. Completely unaware of the fact that Toya, his older brother, just tried to murder him as he has this frozen snot bubble coming out of his nose. He just wants you to look at him, to notice him. That's all. All I can show anyone is the world of heroes. Heroes? Aren't you just running away? Yo! Rei throwing that right back at Endeavor's face before he could walk away from this situation. She is calling him out on his shit and basically saying, you are ignoring the problem that you are causing. You lit this fire within our eldest son, yet you are doing nothing about it. Some hero you are, running away from this situation.
Nani?
And you just see a bead of sweat running down Endeavor's face, because I think he knows deep down what Rei is saying has some truth.
5 years later.
Now we have a time skip. 5 years later, and we see the Todoroki siblings a little bit older now. Only daughter Fuyumi, age 12. Second son Natsuo, age 8. First son Toya, age 13. And as Toya is sitting at his computer desk, we have Natsuo and Fuyumi walking into his room. And Fuyumi has a ball in her hand.
Now you're all in big trouble.
This must be the moment when they play ball together. Hey Toya, let's play. Oh, sure. And it is. We see them playing ball in the courtyard with the maid right next to them. And then from within the house, we have 5-year-old Shoto watching his siblings play without him.
Ignore them, Shoto. They live in a different world than the one I'm training you for. You have a duty to surpass that imbecile All Might.
And then we see Endeavor yanking at Shoto's arm, saying, "Don't look at them, Shoto. Your siblings belong to a different world than you. Just this one time, please. Let me play with Toya in them." No, it's time to train your output capacity. And then as the kids play, in the background, in the training hall, you can hear Shoto's training commence, and Toya can hear it happening. And that look on his face says it all. He wishes he could be in there training with Endeavor right now instead of playing ball with Natsuo and Fuyumi.
3:28 a.m.
Shoto Todoroki. Must be handy to be able to use ice, too. Unlike me. To tell you the truth, I'm jealous. The pain and suffering that quirks bring. Damn. God. Or whoever's up there is real cruel.
It's been 38 minutes already. Jesus Christ, what the fuck? Go to sleep.
I mean, that one time was my fault. Little Shoto didn't do anything wrong, but Dad's to blame too. Listen! So in the middle of the night, Toya is trying to shake Natsu awake and trying to rant about his problems with Endeavor, but also apologizing and realizing that him attacking Shoto 5 years ago, he was in the wrong. Won't even pay attention to us because we're failed creations. Crazy, right? Is that what modern heroes are all about? Making all these kids they don't even need? Hey, why don't you bug sis about this stuff once in a while? And Natsu just kind of like flips over. It's like, can you stop this? It's 3 a.m. I'm trying to sleep right now.
I don't need sleep. I need answers.
Close your eyes, cut the crap. Sleep.
And then tears just start welling up in Toya's eyes. You're telling me to buzz off too, Natsu? Even you? I'm talking to you because you're the only one who gets it. You agree, right? The women in this house are good for nothing. Whoa! Whoa, Toya. I don't know about that. I wouldn't call Rei and Fuyumi good for nothings, but I think he's trying to say they don't understand the situation that he is currently in, and they will never understand. Wait, you're about to run off to that mountain again, aren't you? Hey. And we see Rei stopping Toya from leaving the house because he's off to go train in secret. Why don't you hang out with your classmates once in a while? I don't need friends. We live in different worlds. Toya, do you even want to be a hero? Ooh, and emphasis on the want right there. Rei is basically asking Toya, do you really want to be a hero? Is this something you are striving for? Or is this something kind of being placed upon you to pursue? Yo, this is basically like the Iroh conversation with Zuko.
It's time for you to look inward and begin asking yourself the big questions. Who are you? And what do you want?
Rei is basically asking Toya to look inward and ask himself, who are you? What do you want? What do you want to be? As your mother, it looks to me like you're suffocating because of who your father is, and you're suffering for it. And you got that crazy look coming over Toya's eye in this panel. Toya, there are so many paths available, countless options for you. Try looking beyond your father. See what else is out there. If you do that, I'm sure you'll find the man you want to become.
Shut the hell up.
What the hell do you know, Mom?
Use your aggressive feelings, boy. Let the hate flow through you.
Yo, and he just flips out and yells back at Rei. And then just a jolt of fear comes over Rei as she is staring at just those hate-filled eyes on Toya. Where'd you get that tidbit? Some self-help book? I know about Grandma and them being real poor, so they had to sell you off. You had no choice. And she's just looking down at her son like, what did you just say? Trying to say Toya. And we just see Toya opening the door as he's about to leave. That's why I was born, right? You're guilty too, Mom. And Toya's just staring daggers back at his terrified mother as she is stuttering to say Toya's name.
The heat is swelling in you now.
He's in a rebellious phase right now, but he will take your place. I'll make sure of it.
All I can see is his father.
The fire won't go out. Winter, Toya, age 13. And we see Toya continuing his secret training on top of Sikoto Peak right here as he has lit all of the targets ablaze.
Shoto Todoroki. You can't compete with me in terms of power output. Just try to put me out. Endeavor.
Toya was always small because he came out of the oven a little early. But at long last, he had a growth spurt. Right. It's just another bodily process. My firepower's linked to my feelings. So if I get riled up, I'm pretty awesome, if I do say so myself. Man, Dad's sure in for a surprise.
Ouch!
And Toya is so proud of himself with the progress he has made with his secret training, as he has a fire just burning on his chest and stomach right here.
You'll have to do. Ow! Oh, why me? Oh!
But it looks like he's crying tears of joy with what he has been able to achieve, and he's wiping those tears away. But dang, when I get worked up, I don't know why, but I start crying. Along with those physical changes, his fire changed from red to blue. And that's when it happened. So it's like a puberty thing with Toya. Once he reached the age of 13 and started to actually change, physically and maybe like quirk-wise, that's when his fire changed color from red to blue. So now we go back to the Todoroki household with Toya talking with Endeavor. Listen, Dad, next time you get a day off, you gotta come up to Sikoto Peak with me. And Endeavor looks back at his son like, what the hell did you just say?
You've much yet to learn.
And Endeavor lifts up his shirt to reveal the burns on his chest and stomach. New burns, where he can keep them hidden. He's been training that way on purpose. Damn it, again? And Endeavor is furious to realize that Toya has been continuing his training and he had no idea. No, wait. What I can do now is really cool. You gotta come see. I might be as awesome as Shoto sooner or later. Maybe I'll even be better than All Might someday. Then you've gotta give me some respect, Dad. You'll be glad you created me. I just know it. Oh, and this is the panel from chapter 300 when he was crying and pulling at his hair.
Insanity is doing the exact same fucking thing over and over again, expecting shit to change. That is crazy.
Endeavor lit this flame in his eldest child, and yet, instead of extinguishing it, he's just been adding fuel to the fire by ignoring his son.
He's pissed.
And Endeavor goes straight to Ray. Did he hit her? Ray's on the ground right here, so Endeavor must have punched her. Why didn't you stop him? Huh, Ray? Damn it, that's all I asked you to do. And as Ray is on the ground, we have 5-year-old Shoto coming to his mom's rescue, running over to Endeavor, flailing his arms and screaming, "Don't bully mommy. Stop it. Don't be mean to her," as he has tears in his eyes.
I don't want to, Mom. Please. I don't want to be the kind of guy he is. I don't want to be someone who bullies you and hurts people, Mama. But honey, you do still want to be a hero, don't you?
And then off somewhere else in the house, we have Fuyumi and Natsu just cowering and covering their ears, waiting for the screaming to stop. Get out, Shoto. It's none of your business. And Ray just on the ground, thinking back to what Toya said. What the hell do you know, Mom? Yes, my options were limited, but I made my choice, and I walked that path of my own accord. I had hoped, if nothing else, that I would keep smiling. Yet, And she just looks up at Endeavor and says, I can't stop him. Yo. And now it looks like we're blending the present and the past with these panel shots right here. We can see the present Ray and Endeavor continuing their conversation, but it's cut between Toya crying on Sikoto Peak. So we got Ray saying, and you didn't go after him. I thought I'd only be throwing fuel on his fire. No, that's not it. The truth is, I had no idea what to say to him. And Ray replies with, neither did I. Neither of them knew the words that they could say that would stop their son from doing what he was doing. Then going back into the past, we just see Toya continuing to cry. Quit crying already, stupid tears. He's wiping the tears away. Damn it, Dad. And you just see fire erupting from underneath his eyes, kind of looking like Endeavor with how he has his fire mask. Yo!
You like fire? I'm afraid my only skill is flame. So, I'm going to let you have a lot of it.
And now I'm on fucking fire!
Something been set ablaze? Maybe a fire on the mountain?
Allow my flames to consume you.
And here we are. Double page spread, and this is the moment when Toya lights himself ablaze and supposedly dies on top of Sikoto Peak.
Behold.
Damn. So it really kind of is a combination of both Endeavor and Ray. They share the blame in this, but it really does kind of fall on Endeavor. He ignored his son. He rejected his son, kind of tossed him to the side, and just started pursuing Shoto. And because he wasn't dealing with the fire that he lit within Toya, he was just ignoring that problem, that fire that just continued to grow and grow. And now that fire is literally going out of control, and it is manifested in Toya just lighting this mountainside ablaze, on fire. And you can just see Toya burning alive, burning his body amongst the flames right here.
Flame on!
But at first, he just doesn't even realize what is happening as his whole body gets engulfed in flames. And then we go back to Dabi reminiscing about this as he's just lying on the couch. Man, that was hot. Ah, the flames, can't stop them. Welp, that's just desserts. All he ever taught me was how to turn up the heat.
Hey, what you cooking?
You are stupid.
And you just see this mountainside with smoke and fire everywhere. A crowd forms to see this blaze, and Endeavor notices it. And you can see that shock and fear all over his face as he's now running towards the mountainside to try to save Toya. But he arrives with the flame now extinguished, it's put out, but not a body to be found. And we're coming out of the flashback. If only I'd given it all up that day.
You're my greatest masterpiece.
Ooh, that panel shot. But having killed Toya, I felt there was no turning back. So I poured all my energy into Shoto at the expense of everything else.
Let me assure you of one thing, All Might. Whatever it takes, that kid of mine will beat you someday. I'll lead you down the path of the mighty Shoto.
I can't take it anymore. Every day, the children seem more like him. And Shoto, that child's left side sometimes looks unbearable to me. All I can see is his father. Mom, what are you saying?
And we could see Ray right here, the moments when she broke, and all she could see was Endeavor in Natsu and Shoto. Once Toya was gone, you grew worse and worse, until I couldn't stand the sight of you. It got so bad, I even started seeing hints of you in the children's faces. And then we got Fuyumi. I knew our family was broken, but I was too scared to interfere. All I could do was try to fix things just to keep up appearances. And then we got Natsu saying, it was you who started all of this. You're the root cause. But maybe if I just slugged you in the face and made you have a few serious talks with him, Dabi never would have come about, and I would have been enjoying some good soba with Shoto all these years.
Listen!
But we see Rei now holding up the flower within her hands. You're not the only one who's responsible. And now, we all have to take responsibility for what comes next. Your heart may be broken, but we're here to get you back on your feet. You have no choice but to fight Dabi.
What?
And Endeavor's just looking at his wife saying, are you really the woman I married? It's interesting to actually see her saying to her husband, you need to fight Dabi. But that's the distinction. She's not calling him Toya, calling him Dabi. Dabi is not her son. That's not Toya. You need to fight Dabi. You need to stop Dabi. That's probably what's going through Rei's mind. One of our children, one who suffered much more than us, well, despite having every right to resent me, he started calling me Mom again. He's been making friends at UA, and now he's the one saving us. Shoto is our family's hero. Yo, that panel shot right there, bringing us all the way back to the sports festival with Deku versus Shoto.
I refuse to use my left side. It's yours! Your quirk, not his! I didn't realize how much I'd forgotten.
You are not a prisoner of your lineage. It's okay to use your power, to become who you want to be.
I wanted to. I'll be a hero.
It really is all coming back to Deku saying it's your quirk, not his, and just releasing and freeing Shoto from his father's shackles. It was at that moment Shoto was able to grow as a person and develop and become the man he is now, to where he went to go visit Rei. So not only should she be thanking Shoto, she's got to thank Deku as well for just snapping Shoto out of it and allowing for him to grow. And then we can just see Shoto beginning to cough as he's trying to talk with Endeavor. I talked with Mom before we came to see you. I thought this couldn't be your battle to fight, and that I was the only one who could do it. But I was wrong. Once you're done grieving, stand back up, because we all have to go stop Toya. And we see Shoto putting his hand out towards Endeavor, as Endeavor's just crying and sobbing uncontrollably.
Hey, pull yourself together.
Shoto!
Oh yeah, what did you expect?
And of course, you can't end off this moment without Endeavor screaming, "Oh, Shoto!" And what makes it even funnier, you have Hawks and Best Jeanist snooping outside of the hospital door, eavesdropping on this conversation, and they probably just heard everything that the family was just talking about.
Look.
And you could just see Hawks kind of like showing his phone to Best Jeanist. Whether he's showing him something on the news or something he just typed up to speak with him, they're now here to talk with Endeavor and probably to formulate and figure out what the next plan of action is. But that is the end of this week's chapter. Next chapter hits February 28th.
Progress is slow for Endeavor, for these aspiring heroes. Sometimes they come to a standstill. Sometimes they have to look behind them. But one step in front of the other, they keep moving forward.
Yo, these past 2 chapters of the Toya backstory have been amazing. Both part 1 and part 2 really put into perspective just the upbringing that Toya / Dabi had, but also how poorly Endeavor handled this entire situation with his eldest son, and how no matter what he said, no matter what he did, him rejecting him, him moving on to Shoto, none of this was going to make Toya stop. It was just adding more fuel onto the fire, and all of this was just eventually leading to that moment with Toya lighting himself ablaze on top of Sikoto Peak. This right here really is the wrong way to put out a fire, and Endeavor holds most of the blame. But as we can see with the ending of this chapter, the rest of the family holds some blame in some way, shape, or form, though they are not going to be wallowing in their self-pity because they are here to get Endeavor back up on his feet so that way both Shoto and Endeavor can stop grieving and go after Toya. That is going to be their mission moving forward, whether it's just going to be Shoto and Endeavor or this is an entire family affair. They need to save what is left of the Todoroki family, and I'm curious to see what is going to transpire moving forward from this point. So with that, guys, that right there is my live reaction to chapter 302 of My Hero Academia. But now I definitely want to hear your guys' thoughts on the events of this chapter, as well as your overall thoughts on the 2-chapter backstory that we just received. What are your guys' thoughts on how Endeavor and Rei handled this entire Toya situation, which led up to the Sikoto Mountain Blaze? And how do you guys feel about the present Todoroki family resolving themselves to go after Toya moving forward? Leave your thoughts down in the comments below, and feel free to subscribe to the channel and click that bell icon that you guys can be alerted for every new MHA reaction that pops up on the channel. But if you guys want to talk about other things or talk about MHA outside of YouTube, feel free to also follow me over on Twitter. A link to my Twitter account can also be found in the description down below. That's gonna do it for me here, guys. So until next week, when we have chapter 303 of My Hero Academia, I'll talk to you guys next time. But remember, go beyond plus ultra.